Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's amazing episode of Crimson Skies. Sorry for such a length of downtime on the channel, but we are back and going 100%. There's some few minor changes to the channel and to some things that I just want to address. In the coming month, you are going to see a major change where we are going to have another part of the Crimson Skies world. There's going to be room for you, the viewers, and you, the followers, you, the subscribers, to join us in our community play, where you'll be playing the roles of adventurers in the Crimson Skies world. There's hopefully going to be a 15-page or less lore book for you guys to have access to, just to kind of know a little bit about the world. And absolutely, as always, if you come into play and you're like, hey, I want to be from this village that's not on the map here, I'm not going to put your village on the map, but it will be up here, and I will pop it into the lore. As the thing with the Roll20 map is you put too much crap on it, and all of a sudden Roll20 likes to crash on you. I like to avoid that. But your town will exist. Your town will exist in a fashion where if these guys go completely evil and completely rogue, they can burn it down. Burn it to the fucking ground and watch it go up in flames. I have the wrong extension up for D&D Beyond. Give me a second to swap that over to Crimson Skies, my friends. There we go. Save configuration. So yeah, your hometown could burn in a fiery blaze of glory. You could kill one of the player's favored NPCs if you come across them. So everything is 100% interactable for you guys and for the players as well. So both the community game and both the primary campaign here will affect each other and the whole wide world. So it should be really cool, and it should be really fun, and it should go smooth. I talked to the guys and our favorite Sin, and they are all down for it. So we're gonna roll with it. We're gonna have some fun and let you guys play in my very first world that I created. This is the third iteration of it, and I'm actually in love with the way that this one was created, and I'm in love to see with the idea of seeing what you guys will bring all of you to the table. With that being the case, we are down 2 players tonight, so we probably won't run too super long, in an effort to make sure that our players don't miss out on too much info. But with that, let's get started with tonight's episode of Crimson Skies. When last we left off, you guys had just picked up a new helper, a crewman named Jorath, a half-orc, who was disguised, for some reason, as a tiefling inside of a crystal. Getting him to learn about the world a bit more, and you all teaching, and you all learning about his world, where he came from almost 800 years ago. You found yourselves getting ready to do a few extra side jobs and requests, going and getting a small handful of druids from a small grove. Easy enough. Easy to be done. With that, a quick session and a good day set behind you, with answering to Queen Rivana for a few transgressions. You'll find yourselves in a pretty good position. A very excellent crew hired by Sincere and Lycirus. Lycirus picking the 2 other pilots to swap shifts with when shifts are to be swapped. You guys have a well-established crew. You have a good security team. You have an excellent team of gunners. And your modifier if I remember correctly, on all skill checks because Sincere hired a trained crew. Should be a +5. If I am wrong, someone help me and double check. But that should be what your crew's plus modifier is. Beautiful. With that, having achieved your goals, having spoken to the druids, gotten their aid, exchanged some conversation between each other over the past 2 weeks, as last week we did have kind of a private what did you guys do for 2 weeks session. You now, all of you, find yourselves ready. Your new ship, a more triangular arcane airship, ready to go. It's... Thank you very much, Morgan. How would you like to distribute those bits, my good sir? That is a potion to somebody if you'd like to. Lysiris, ready to take your lovely little angular gunship with its front-mounted cannon. Is a triple-barreled cannon now that has a 180-degree rotation and a 35-degree incline and a 10-degree depression. You've got a pretty good frontal cannon now. However, you have no rear guns or side gun, or you have no rear guns, but you do have your port and starboard guns. They have been upgraded to deal some damage to airships, but they are still primarily infantry engaging for when you're looking to make a troop drop into a combat zone. That leaves you guys ready, crew hired, paid out. Do you wish to continue your journey, or do you have any other things you need to complete at the end of these 2 weeks of downtime here in Corsair?
I think we did a lot of the discussion. I know that we had talked about where we were going next. Are we ready to head out, or?
Yeah, ready. The more we wait, the more dangerous things get.
Yeah.
We just hired a bunch of people. We probably want to, kind of get an idea of who we're going to be working with more closely, each of us.
We'll not learn that when we fly away.
I suppose we can, yeah. Just think, soon, sometime soon, before an emergency where we're supposed to be calling out people's names that we're supposed to know.
What, you don't already know Gerald's name?
Gerald.
Everyone knows Gerald. Come on, Fixer.
I don't know if his name's actually Gerald, but he answers to it.
Yeah. Hey, watch this. Gerald, come here. Gerald, get over here.
You see this, let me pull up my crew notes for you guys now. You see... Oh boy, you guys are all the way down at the bottom. Right about that. You see this small... you see this small little grung with a green pattern with speckled black spots. Makes his way over, and he kind of hops over to you. His black eyes kind of blinking, and you hear the sound of the eyes kind of closing and re-moisturizing. He makes his way over and...
Yes?
Gerald, Chad.
No.
Okay, we gotta work on that.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna do that.
Go away, Gerald.
So you...
Fixer, that's Gerald.
I'm...
Fixer didn't know who you were. We were introducing.
I'm a grung. He just keeps forgetting my name.
What is your name?
Torka.
Nice to meet you, Torka.
Maybe if you had more discipline in your body, I'd remember your name.
Can you discipline this?
And he just bends his back almost completely in half as he does one of those creepy backwards crab walks from The Grudge and just kind of like flips himself back up.
There.
Yes, I actually can discipline that.
You're
Never
weird.
do that again.
He looks at you and just kind of strokes his froggy grung chin, and he's about the size of he's about half the size of a goblin. He is tiny in stature, and he's kind of and makes his way back to his maintenance station.
All right, just remember who the first mate of the ship is.
Lysiris just looks and goes, "Yes, I know who the first mate of the ship is," and just starts clicking on systems.
She's still really salty about that, huh?
Yeah, I think she's still pretty upset.
Like, we just met her. Did you think she was going to be the first mate?
Why don't we? What do you guys think? What if we like got everyone together and then we said hello, and then we could tell them where we were heading, so that way everyone knows where we're going, and then it gives us a chance so that everyone knows who we are, and then we could be on our way.
Well, that does seem like quite the captain thing to do. So you might want to get on that.
Yeah.
Hey,
so
I have
Awen, look.
what?
They're going to get to know you, but that doesn't mean you need to be all friendly with them.
No, yeah, I just think we need to introduce ourselves, and I mean, you could push the button and you could call them all together. You know, the button where
This one?
That's the one.
Didn't Lysiris shut that one off?
You push the button. You don't hear any sound of the comms system in the ship going on.
It's broken.
I think.
Well, there's another way around this, and I will pull out my ivory warhorn.
I think that's probably. We should find a way to gather everybody.
And I will blow on it incessantly.
Yeah, and maybe while you're blowing on it, we'll go around and gather everybody.
Okay. As you blow on the horn, Lysiris is in the process. She just pulls out 2 pieces of beeswax and puts them in her ears. As she does, she begins getting the ship ready for departure and takeoff. And as that happens, Viamir, on your 3rd blow in the war horn, you hear as you look out of the main bridge, you see a massive fireball erupting out from where once the Drunken Cabbage and its surrounding buildings were. There is now a massive burning crater. Alarms begin to sound and people begin to scatter. You hear shouting from outside as another and a rain of fire and cannons begins to explode around the docks. You see docked airships now beginning to just be eviscerated out of the sky, off of the docks. Blind shots managing to strike home on docked airships at this point. What do you all do?
It wasn't me.
Do we see where this is coming from?
It is coming from outside of the trees, but from out of visual range. You see as the shots come streaking through the illusion, you see the direction they're coming from as you just see these small little balls of light slowly growing larger before they make impact and send another shockwave through. Buildings getting destroyed. Pieces of the scaffolding that are built into the tree now begin to crumble out from underneath everywhere on the ship.
Like an
give me a visual.
illusion canopy? Like an illusion canopy, and then the bolts are coming through this?
The canopy is illusion to make it look like it is just the tree from the outside, but these airships just seem to be just launching with deadly accuracy.
but we can't see the air. We can't see through
not with just your eyes. Yeah, you're not able to pick them up from their distance.
I will man my
Fixer
station.
sends out Hawk.
Manning your station. Okay.
I will man my battle station.
Manning your battle station. How far out are you looking on the?
I forget what the ranges were, but one was like 2 miles out, right?
Yep.
And I can still pick up ships on that.
Yep.
Then that's what I'll do.
Okay. Heading out to 2 miles, you see 5 bodies. 2 at your flanks, 3 directly on facing your rear. You count 5 different fleets as they are grouped into fleet sizes. As you poke, as you have been instructed in these 2 weeks, the new radar system that you had installed, as you give a poke to it, it expands on that point and zooms into the fleet, and you count 15 ships. A carrier, 5 battleships, and a mix of cruisers and destroyers. As you pull back, you click on another one, same assortment. You count a total of 5 carriers, 25 battleships, and an assorted number of cruisers and destroyers, a total of 75 ships in all, having surrounded at about a 2-mile radius, just a half circle, now pulling in just pouring in fire, these ships just raining destruction onto Corsair. They are registered as ships of the Black, meaning they have no registration. They are not registering a country. They are not registering a company. They are unidentified warships. They are bearing no markings.
Captain, we're surrounded. 5 separate mini fleets. Can I like Tony Stark that shit where I make it big so everyone can see it?
Yeah, there has been made a central terminal on the bridge that you can send the navigation images to.
Whoop. Tony Stark.
Do we see, just like looking real quickly, I know that ships are being destroyed around us that are docked. Are there ships that are currently taking off anywhere?
There are some that are trying. Some are breaking loose at this point. Lysiris, thankfully, she has completed all of her disembarking procedures. The clamps have already been removed, and she looks back to you hearing this, seeing what she sees on the main view, and she just starts taking off.
So I'm just envisioning the docks. So this is a giant tree.
Yep.
The docks, they're up in the trees, up in the branches of this giant tree.
Yep.
Is there a way we can
layered.
go?
Yeah,
Is there a way we can go down?
There is a way. Yeah, you could. The ship, what was once the Hand, now the Cloud Cutter, is nimble enough to fly low into the canopy, but you would suffer some damage. Going through as just hitting trees with the airship,
Yeah, Awen's just gonna kind of be like, Lysiris, can you take us down, get us out of here?
Yeah, already fucking done. As she just detaches, and you feel the ship drop as she immediately cuts the engine. The ship drops maybe about 300 feet in a matter of 2 seconds before the engine kicks back up. Fixer, where on the ship are you? Are you on the bridge or are you in the engine room?
Fixer was on the bridge.
On the bridge. Fixer, you do not hear this, but you get a call from the engine room now as, Sir, the engine's crying. We need some assistance. As you see Lysiris is on her console, you see red flashes in the pilot's console that are warnings that she is overpowering the engine, as she has just full throttled the engine and is trying to fast flip the ship and maneuver out of here.
Fixer books it as quick as he can to the engine.
Okay. As you make your way to the engine room, the crew is scattering as they hear the sound of fire. Gunnery teams are reporting in. They are at their stations ready to go if need be, if you are requesting shots be fired. As Lysiris begins flying through the trees, she kicks on the gravity spell that is integrated within the airship as the ship flips vertically. All of you standing there, your bodies held in place. Regardless of where you are on the ship, you are locked to the floor of the Cloud Cutter as she is taking you straight vertical. Materials are falling that aren't secured. There is breaking of glasses, plates, and other fine materials. Some of the stuff in your crew quarters might be damaged and broken. But as you watch Lysiris fly through the trees, she is doing her best to avoid fire. Fixer, as you make your way into the engine room, you hear the arcane crystal inside of the engine, what is made of pure elemental energy from the elemental plane of air, is now screaming. This stone, this glowing green stone inside of the engine, that when you talk to it, you try to get an idea of it, you know it gives you responses of a very calculated measure about how it's doing and its status, but you can hear this inanimate object that has been infused with the engine is screaming in agony as you see all the different pressure valves along the engine are in the red and the engine is running the risk of blowing. What are you going to do?
Can I see any... Oh, no, that's going to take too long, probably. Do I see any, like, brakes or...
There are pressure valves that can be released that are set as limiters along the engine to prevent the engine from being pushed past its limits. Doing so, if you were to disable these limiters, would cause some damage that would take 48 hours to be repaired on the engine, but it would allow the engine to be pushed further than what is allowing, and it would pull the red line back into the yellow or potentially the green, depending on how many you want to disable.
How many are there?
There are 10 in total. And this would be the first time you are ever seeing this occur.
Are they spread out or like all in one location?
They are spread out along the engine itself, and the engine itself is maybe about a good 50 feet in length. And they are on both sides. So there's 5 on each side. One every 10 feet. The three goblins that are in there with you, Tick, Flick, and Lick, losing their mind as they are trying to figure out what to do. They are throwing things, just trying to pull things out to try and give the engine some relief, but they have no guidance at this moment. This is beyond their mastery at the moment.
Each of you release one valve, and then Fixer will Misty Step to a 4th valve and open that.
So you're pulling 2 valves?
Total of 4.
You're doing 4, okay. So you are bam, 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 bam. Okay, so you're Misty Stepping to get to, you're doing 1, running 10, bam, pulling 2? Or do you want to tell the goblins? Do you want to order your
Fixer was telling the goblins to each take 1.
Okay.
And then was Misty Stepping to another one and opening that up.
All right, the goblins give a nod, and the 3 of them rush quickly, and they trying to align and make sure all the valves are open on the same side, or on opposite sides, so they're not staggered but even with each other. Are you picking the closer 2 to the exit, or the 2 furthest away to the back of the ship?
Are they on the far side or near me?
One is near you. The other two are on the opposite side. So that way,
But we're all on like this.
You're all in the engine room. So if the engine's here, you're here. Two are on this side.
Right, but we're all nearest the exit compared to.
So
the
you're
rest
going to the
of
closer ones.
Yes.
Okay, closer ones near the exit. All right. As you go and pull, I need you to go ahead and make an intelligence check plus your proficiency modifier plus 5.
That will be a total of 18.
Oof, okay, that is just enough. As the four of you pull release valves, you are blown back. The four of you just jettison to the back wall. You all take... Oh, maximum? Shit. You take 8 points of bludgeoning damage as the four of you are thrown with an eruptive force up against the back walls. As you look and you kind of shake the stars out of your eyes for a moment, you look and you see 8 vents of pure elemental air energy jutting like blades of fire out from these 4 ports, blowing out as much energy as possible, trying to expel that pent-up energy. You hear the engine now beginning to slow its ear-piercing, deafening scream to that of a wail and a cry as you watch the pressure release down into the yellow. It's about mid-yellow now at this point with those 4 valves pulled. There are still 6 more to pull if you so choose, but you are in relative okay-ness at the moment.
What were the goblin names again?
You have Trick, Flick, and Lick.
All right, Trick, Flick, stand by on 2 more valves across from each other. Lick, let's see if there's anything else we can do to help.
Hi there.
And then he'll take a look around for any damaged pipes, anything that looks like it needs fixing.
Okay, make an investigation check.
All right, that is going to be a 20.
A 20 what?
25.
25. Okay. Looking around, you notice there are some pipes that are beginning to shake violently, and you notice bits of steam where they are clamped together actually exiting this steam. You see very much the same elemental air energy blowing through these very thin slits that are pressure sealed tight. There is a pressure release valve that you could turn that would allow the pipes to expand for more energy to be pushed through.
Fixer will we'll open that up slowly, like, I don't know, just not all at once, but just
doing a slow release.
Yeah.
Okay, make a intelligence check plus proficiency, no modifier from the crew at this moment.
That is 18.
18, okay. As you do a slow release, you begin to hear the engine calm slower as all the pipes almost seem to grow a good maybe inch in size as they get larger. More energy is spreading through the entire ship now, and the needle goes to the borderline for the pressure valves of green and yellow. At this point, everyone on the bridge who is still there, you feel this sudden jerk of speed as the ship is now pushing well beyond the safety boundaries. But Lyciris, she needs to make a piloting check at disadvantage for this. Okay. Plus her piloting skill. It's a +8. That's good for her. The lowest was a 15. The highest was a 19. That's a waste of a 19, unfortunately. But that is a 23? 23. does manage to, just barely by the skin of her teeth, fly through the trees with an expert level of evasion, trying to keep the ship safe. What are the rest of you guys doing as Fixer is in the engine room trying to keep the engine from blowing?
Who's my assistant navigator?
Your assistant navigator... I actually have them here. I have to find them for a second. Hang on! It is the Air Genasi Gale.
Gale. Track the enemy fleet. And then...
Go ahead.
On the map. And I don't know how many stations we have since the upgrades, but what I want to do is help... I want to help try to find a clear path by me zooming in and being able to find a clear path and exit way through the fleet, through the forest, through everything. And trying to do a very hands-on navigate. Like, I'm not flying it, but trying to find the path of least resistance.
Absolutely. Okay. With the new upgrades, this is something that is possible and doable as you navigate through and send the display right into Lycirus's peripheral. Go ahead and make your, we will say, perception check as you start navigating through this. Gale is going to start tracking the enemy fleet.
I'd like to coordinate in the effort of making a clear path by taking my station and ordering the gunnery team to basically take out anything that's in our path.
Okay.
So if it looks like we don't have a path of least resistance, we can break our way through it.
Okay. Go ahead and roll that with advantage then, Weimer.
All right. A little bit better. 17.
17. Excellent.
18.
18. Excellent.
Yeah. I'm bad at basic math.
Oh, actually, go ahead and add a +5 to that because you do have your crew doing something. Not directly aiding you, but is aiding in the keeping, effort out of your attention. So an 18 plus 5.
Yep.
Gives
23.
you
23.
23. Okay. As you start navigating, giving Lycirus a better path of navigation.
And I imagine it's just me finding clear spots and like pinging it on the map and then sending it to Lycirus and like also shouting it like, make for that tree over there type of deal where then, as we start moving through, I'm looking for the next spot to go and just keep sending it to her, that location.
Absolutely. Absolutely. With a natural 18 on the roll plus 8, plus the 2 from your good roll, she with a 28 on that. She is nimbly making her way through now, just expert piloting skills with your navigation aiding her. She's able to pinpoint and just make these sharp, very hairpin turns, but is making them with an ease. At this point, Gale, even with knowing Gale for the last week and a half, it is still impossible for you to tell whether Gale is male or female. They are very androgynous looking, very beautiful, but they have a very trim, elegant form that shows no real sign of breasts or a
phallic member.
A phallic member. It's just this very androgynous form as we have 3 incoming.
Captain!
Fighter class. They're launching from the carriers now.
And I'll send that to Awen. Whoop.
Awen, you watch as as Gale pulls up each different fleet in 5 different windows. You watch as the carriers are launching at a quick calculation for the ship to do is 25 fighter craft, which are these kind of W-shaped aircraft with a central cockpit in the middle and the wings that kind of bow in like a V outward. and forward. As they start making their way in full force, you watch as they are engaging the other ships now that are taking off out of Corsair, trying to make their way and try and get away free without being shot down.
Do any of them you said 3 seem to be coming towards us?
3 have broken away low and are trying to make their way in your direction, potentially to try and shoot you down.
And we don't have any gunnery in the rear, right?
No gunnery in the
Only
rear.
on the sides
Your gun is in your main cannon and the port and starboard guns.
Okay.
Which at this point, oh shit, I forget. Oh man. Give me a second. Your starboard guns are facing upward and may have an angle to try and pepper at these fighter craft. They are large enough caliber to do some damage.
Haywen's gonna shout out and be like, someone get to those guns! And just wait to see the first person to respond.
You get a response from the Minotaur Lokar. Starboard side, ready to fire. Give the order to open the door.
Open the door.
Great. The starboard gunnery team opens their side port hatch and drops down their now their high caliber machine cannons. They are a good size from what was newly installed. They fire a 2d10 round, each of them. You have 4 on each side. They have been reduced, but they are a higher caliber and they deal a lot more damage. At this point, your gunnery team opens fire. So Law, you have control of the gunnery team. They are taking shots at the closest one that is at their maximum range of engagement. So the roll will be made at disadvantage. It is a d20 plus 5 plus your proficiency modifier, and you can inspire them if you wish, as they are your crew effectively.
Okay, yeah, I'll go ahead and inspire the gunnery team then, and then we'll see if I actually need it based on the results of.
Okay.
While he does that, DD, can I try to find a spot that will get us into a more advantageous position?
Make an investigation check.
Was I adding any of my ability scores to this?
You are not at the moment. I am testing without player ability score on this one.
Okay, then I will use my new D8 inspiration for the crew.
There you go.
And that's much better. That was a plus 5 to that, so 16, 21.
21, excellent. As they open fire with your direction, as you send them the target lock signals, they have this, the gunnery team, as the camera pans to them, there's this holographic display, this illusionary display that appears on each of their guns, and it targets locks as it goes in, as they line their muzzle with the target, and it's tracking. And as they do, they open fire, and a hail of munitions starts trailing towards the lead fighter. Go ahead and roll 2d10, please. And you can add plus 5 to the damage roll for the gunnery team. So the plus 5 will add to damage and to hits.
All right, that'll be 13.
13. The first fighter takes a heavy amount of damage as it sputters and spins, and it tries to regain balance. The pilot is going to make a check. Pilot succeeds their check as they regain control of their craft and immediately break off from the dive from their squadron and begin flying back. The other two ships are making their dive attack. It will be their turn now as they're part of the gunnery phase. The first one fires off a hail of bullets, but the angle Lysiris has the ship at, they just bounce harmlessly off the triangular plating on the top of your airship, bouncing clean off. The second fighter, however, rolls a natural 20 and manages to strike actually into the starboard gunner's port and is going to fire its it's 2d10 machine gun, 5, 6, 7, 8 for 8 points of damage. 2 members of your gunnery team, one is knocked unconscious as they are just riddled, filled with holes, and knocked back. You lose 1 to your accuracy and to your damage. They are stable. Actually, wait, it was a nat 20. We'll say 2. You lose 2 points. You have a +3 and a +3 to damage. Now, as 2 members are just knocked unconscious, 2 of them now just manning the guns. The gunnery team has taken quite a hit. Ending the fighter craft's turn, they swoop upward now and break off their attack, bringing us back to the top of the round. Viamir, what was your 10? As you are trying to navigate Lysiris and trying to find a clearing, you are not able to find a viable clearing to give you guys a new avenue of attack to give you guys the upper hand in this fight. Awen, what would you like to do? What would you like to do to try and improve the crew in any way?
Quick question. Do we have anyone from our crew on any sort of comms, any sort of communication to hail other ships?
You do have a comms officer. Yep.
And so Awen's gonna look to he's gonna look towards the comms as well as to Viamir and just be like, do I know what's the comms name? It doesn't matter. Comms guy.
This is why I wanted to introduce everybody.
Didn't have time.
It's gonna be Scribbles. Scribbles the Kenku scribe is your is your comms officer.
And Awen's just gonna be like, Scribbles, Viamir, get me a read on the closest vessel, one of our allies. See if we can't get someone coming up behind us to take out some of these guys.
Scribbles is as you've gotten to know your Kenku crew members. They mimic multiple different voices at one time, and you hear this chorus of different voices as Scribbles puts a sentence together of, "Right away, we'll see who's available." And Scribbles immediately starts trying to find an available ship.
And I'll Gale, find the closest friendly vessel.
Right away. And Gale Gale, natural 20.
That's my girl / maybe boy.
That's my crew member.
Good job.
That's my person.
You. Give them all you.
Good job,
Gale.
You. Gale immediately picks up the Hammer of Dawn, which is Cypher's ship. As Cypher seems to have gotten up in the air, you see his massive battleship is moving overhead now and is well behind you, but you pick up this ship that is just unloading a barrage of fire into the center fleet out of the 3 that are charging forward. He is taking damage, but comms are open as with the notification. Scribbles doesn't even bother trying anyone else. He immediately hails the Hammer of Dawn, and comms are open, and you hear, So, the little one got free. Congratulations.
Hey, we're just gonna be like, Captain Cypher, we got a few on our tail. We're hoping maybe you can give us a hand there.
You'll have to deal with it. I'm transporting the Queen and Taggart on board. I'm tracking 2. You'll be fine.
All right. Well, keep everybody safe. And we're just gonna kind of look towards, Lycirus and be like, Lycirus, get us in a better position to lay fire down on these other 2.
Make a persuasion check.
Captain, please close your comms.
On it! Scribbles just ends the comm call.
You said that was persuasion.
Cypher
that is
just sitting there, watching.
15.
15. Lycirus looks over her shoulder and just... You all feel, and at this moment, as she goes and pulls a maneuver, it's a natural 19 on that. Fixer, the engine room redlines again as Lycirus immediately banks the ship upward at a vertical angle. Still the ship perfectly just like a knife cutting through, not even with the skyline. She just cuts upward, and as she does, she flips it, spins, and comes into a position behind the gravitational forces that the ship is going through is beginning to just pull parts of the engine in different directions as she does this maneuver. What are you going to do?
Let's see. So it's redlining, like all the way, or
She has pulled this back into the red.
okay.
Make love to it, Fixer. Make love to your engine.
The engine is once again screaming in agony.
Well, I was gonna ask it how what's most critical, but never mind. Thanks.
What is most critical? Everything.
Yeah. So Fixer, flick, trick, throw the valves, and then look for what is breaking the most, or bending, or
Okay.
like.
Go
looks like
ahead.
any-
Go ahead and roll for the crew. Your intelligence check +5 plus proficiency.
It's gonna be a total of 18.
18. They pull the 2 valves, just barely making it, and once again they get thrown back, taking 5 points of bludgeoning damage. The 2 of them slamming against the bulkhead. Unfortunately, the 2 of them are unconscious, leaving you with just Lick.
Okay.
Go ahead and make
they
an-
threw they threw the valves. How much did it release?
It is on the border of yellow and red, and you see once again 2 more valves of this arcane air energy just bursting through like plasma, just burning through the vents, the limiters on the engine. Go ahead and make your investigation check to try and find what needs some repair, what needs some effort put into it.
16.
16. Looking around, you're having trouble in this moment of intense intense situation, and you don't find anything else other than releasing the valves 4 and 8.
Fixer will direct Lick to grab the other one, and he'll grab
All right.
the other one.
You and Lick, go ahead and make another check. Because you have 2 members unconscious, you are down to a +2. The rest of your engineering crew, unfortunately, was not in the engineering room when we began this.
That is okay. That's going to be a total of 26.
26. Okay, solid.
Why did we not name one of them Jordy?
As you flip the valve down and limiters expose, you are both once again thrown back as the sheer force of more energy erupting out. You both take 3 points of bludgeoning damage as you hit the ground and clatter into some tools. However, Lick is still conscious at this moment in time, and so are you. But the ship is now back down into the yellow. It is not completely yellow green, but it is within the first 25% of yellow line.
All right, and then last thing that Fixer does is he yells into the comms, "Lycirus, you're pushing it."
Lycirus answers back, "My ship, my rules. You fix the engine." As Lycirus gets into a position for the main cannon. As the main cannon is lined up, you hear from the gunnery crew law that they have a shot and the cannons are loaded.
Fire!
Alright. Go ahead and roll. The gunnery crew on the cannon has a +5. You are down on your starboard gunnery crew though. But your primary cannon is able to fire.
All right, that's a... Am I able to use luck with this?
Yeah, sure. Why not? If you want to give the crew luck, you're leading the crew. I'd say it is your targeting, and they're adhering to the target. So it is your initial targeting that is kind of aiming their sights.
Good, because I rolled really bad on that first roll. So that's gonna be 5 plus my proficiency, right?
Plus your proficiency. Yep.
26.
26. The 3 primary cannons fire in sync as they just launch these 3 rounds that you watch, instead of spreading and dispersing in just directions as they fly, they almost converge into a single point as all 3 rounds begin spitting in sync and impact into the fighter. Please go ahead and roll 3d12.
Plus 5 for the team as well?
Yep.
Okay. That's 32.
32. The other fighter, you catch the fighter, pop out of the canopy of their fighter and eject as the ship is just engulfed in a fire of flame as their fighter just disperses in a gout of explosion. The pilot who ejected may or may not still be alive.
I jump after him.
Big
No one survives the cloud cutter.
I would ask how you're getting back.
Bearskin cloak.
But that is a pretty good size explosion. The last fighter seeing this,
I have a quick question for you, DD.
Shoot.
If I had comms open up a channel to the enemy ships, would I be able to use cutting words on them?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
You suck!
Great, here's
You're
a
gonna miss! You're gonna miss! See, told you were gonna fucking miss!
Great, Fox 2. Shoot. Okay. I love you guys. As this is going on, Viamir, what are you going to do as the other fighter Rolling for morale. We'll see what happens. What are you trying to do, Vimir?
I want to look for some cover where we're able to kind of bank around and obscure ourselves from the ship. Right, because we're still in the tree line-ish?
You are above the tree line because for her to pull that maneuver, she had to come out of the tree, out of the
Okay,
forest.
so are we all just both free?
Free in the air. You've got maybe...
Where's Cypher's ship?
Cypher's ship is 500 feet above you in the air. You guys are canopy level, which is 100 feet in the air. You have about 20 feet between the bottom hull of the ship and the tree line. There's a good chance Lycirus is sonic booming some birds to death as she's flying over the canopy. They're just...
I'll just look to Gale. Gale, continue tracking enemy fighters. Anything incoming? Notify me immediately, and I'll turn to Awen. Awen, Captain, we need to either support Cypher's ship from the smaller fighters and take refuge in this hail of fires putting out, or flee.
And he kind of looks towards
Lycirus,
the pilots. And,
Lycirus just looks back. I would rather get the fuck out of this.
I mean, we've got Taggart and the Queen on Cypher's ship. It's probably important to make sure they get out.
When Lycirus says she'd rather get out, I want to go to the map and see if there's a place where we can make a clean exit, more or less.
Okay, make an investigation check. And at this point, as you're doing that, the fighter breaks off and pulls away. You see on the map, on the ship display at your captain's station, Awen, the starboard gunnery port has closed. At this moment, though, there is a round incoming as Lycirus just shouts over open comms throughout the ship, "Brace for impact!" And she begins to try and crane the ship off into another angle and manages to do so barely by the skin of her teeth, even with her modifiers. That is a 10 on the roll plus 8. She banks the ship a little bit and manages her save. It's pretty good. What would be 20 points of damage, the ship takes 10 points of impact damage as the round, as you hear it ricochet off the angular plating, but having done some explosive damage as it impacted and blew a hole in part of the upper hull. There is a slew of swearing as some of the members are... There is now injury reports coming in from all over the ship. Your doctor, Nox Lupo, is reporting multiple injuries, and medical teams are responding to the injuries at this moment in time. It's a big hit, and they are now seeming to be targeting, as at this point Lycirus is just pulling evasive maneuvers. Viamir, what was your check?
16.
16. It does appear that there is an opening up ahead in the trees that opens into a glade that then narrows and would be wide enough for Lycirus to resume her flight path that she originally took, kicking the ship on its side. That seems to get a deeper overhang of trees.
I'll turn back to Kat and Awen. We could also board one of them.
One of their
The big ones.
carriers. Yeah. Any idea, looking at some of the carriers or some of the bigger ships, roughly how many crew members they would likely have?
Make a history check. Make a history check involving pirates,
Knowledge.
so you'll have advantage on the roll.
Ooh, okay.
Because you've been around airships
19.
for quite some time.
19 on the die, 19 total. Good,
Nice.
good history check.
Excellent. Carriers have smaller crews, but they have pilots galore. They're crewed normally by about 150 crewmen for dealing with maintenance, repair, refitting, and then depending on the size of the carrier, these ones look like they house maybe 200 fighters each. Whatever it is, as you guys are taking a look into the sky, the sky is clouded with fighter craft from both sides, and these fighters are just they are blotting out the sun almost. There's that many of them in the sky.
And then what's the size? You said there's some carriers, there's some like destroyers.
Destroyers, battleships, cruisers.
Is the carrier the only thing we would be able to board, you think, or is there more?
Carrier would be the only boardable vessel. Unless you want to
right.
crash into a battleship.
Yeah, just crash into it.
Typically, carriers is where they keep
We
the
cut
command
clouds
center
out
of
of
the
their ships.
fleet. Ramming has been a time-honored tradition with naval vessels for quite a while. 1. 2, typically the carrier is the command center of a fleet in modern times.
Well, DD,
3.
how'd you TPK your party?
There's at least 5 of them.
Well,
4.
they
Four.
decided just to ram into.
I did
Nothing I can do on the bridge lets me rage. So
150 crew members, 200 fighters on a single carrier.
yeah, but the fighters are out and about flying. Otherwise, the sky wouldn't be darkened with them.
I'm not there. I want to say things.
150 crew. Does that include people flying the fighters, or is this the people who are left over after the fighters go out?
They're peons. They're crew.
They would be the maintenance crew and the officers that
We
are
have
in
Kankles.
charge.
Okay.
Kankles.
Oh, as long as Kankles is coming, let's go. Board it. That's all we
How
We
needed.
have
How
Kankles.
about we fly over them? I cast Featherfall on you two, and you guys have fun while we leave.
Yeah, me and Kankles stopped this invasion by ourselves.
Awen's got his own feather fall. Let's. Did Viomir say anything? I'm trying to think back. Did you say something about trying to board one of them out loud?
Yes, very much so. But that's Weimar speaking. Literally, like,
We
Cut
can
the
board
head.
and fight him.
cut the head from the snake. We can do it. And you see, like, the
The
look
crazy
you
eye.
you've seen the look in his face before when he just wants to hit something.
Awen's gonna look to Law, as kind of like a voice of reason, because Awen's kind of got this kind of angry look, knowing that his allies are in trouble, and he'll just be like, Law, Viomir wants to board a ship. I'm looking for a second opinion.
I also suggested playing support role and keeping the fighters off of the main ship. I also suggested that.
I absolutely 100% disagree with boarding that ship. However, I do think playing a support role to Cypher would be a strong choice. They'll be able to help keep the capital ships off of us, and we'll be able to help keep the smaller ships that they can't hit easily off of them. There's strength in numbers there, and then we could part ways and do whatever we need to do.
And Aowen will look towards the others piloting, since Lycirus was, you said,
it is-
operating the
it
one
is-
gunnery.
It is just Lycirus operating. Lycirus is your pilot at this moment. There is no one else in the pilot seat.
Okay. Because I thought, did you say she took over the gunnery, or
Nope.
no? Okay.
Nope, I'm on
Here,
gunnery.
I'm all over the place. All right, and he's just gonna look to Lycirus and be like, Lycirus, get us over to Cypher, and let's see if we can't help pick off some of the smaller ones. and he's gonna just say,
Make a persuasion check.
Can I give him advantage on that since I made a pretty good point?
You can.
"Yeah, we're gonna need it."
There's only one way I know how to make persuasion checks.
That is a 18 total.
Just made Lycirus's loyalty to you.
I was going to say, do we have a break? Because Sergeant of Arms might be something I'm good at.
Lycirus looks at you. Eowyn, you and I need to have a conversation after this is over. And
He's just gonna be like, "Let's hope there's an after this," and just kind of point to the direction of Cypher's ship.
yeah, fucking reason I don't want to go into that. And she very begrudgingly pulls the ship back into a supporting role. At this point, you see Kelzata's vessel, the Emerald Lady, making its way up next to the Hammer of Dawn. The only one whose ship you don't see at this point is Crom's.
And what was Kelzata's ship?
Emerald Lady.
Emerald.
So you have Hammer of Dawn.
Yeah, Hammer of Dawn for Cypher, Emerald Lady, Kelzata, and you said we don't see who's Crom's?
Yep.
Can I tell Gale to focus on finding incoming fighters? And I'll do the same, looking for attack formations coming in so we can engage them before they get towards the bigger ships.
Okay. Yep.
Or at least, well, let the captain know.
Okay. Easy enough. She will start doing that. Okay. As she is tracking incoming fighters, Captain Crom's ship, the Iron Maiden, makes its way into the combat airspace, lagging behind, showing signs of heavy damage. The fighters are beginning to fall away, but the illusion around, as you look back and start tracking, the illusion around Corsair has faded, and you see a burning husk of a tree as the lesser world tree is beginning to burn and die. At this point, these ships are actively now tracking and fighting and destroying smaller ships. Let's see here. Crom Kelzata and Cypher begin unloading a hail of fire. Gunnery team, please go ahead and make an attack roll.
$24.
24. All right. As your ships and what few surviving ships you can count, Gale calling out incoming, and other ships, navigation teams tracking other groups, you begin to take out smaller groups of fighters. However, it is barely making a dent into their forces. Ships begin to fall one by one, and the fighter craft begin to pull back. As you take a look at at Corsair, the tree is engulfed in brilliant flame as it begins to burn away. At this point, Gale just shouts out, "We have 10 ships remaining."
You mean, does Gale mean
Allies.
fighter? Oh, 10 ally ships. And
Reporting
how
on
many?
losses, the enemy has suffered no primary fleet losses. They have suffered an estimated 100 fighter losses.
The enemy's 100 fighter losses, but no major ships.
Yep.
Captain,
Yeah, yes, Vimir.
we're severely outnumbered. It's time to flee. If your loyalty to the Queen is admirable, get her on board. Now, if that's what you wish. Otherwise, we must go. You know the stakes are higher than this.
And he's gonna shout back to Scribbles and be like, Scribbles, get us Captain's cipher.
Easy enough. Scribbles, ah, ready to go. And comms open, and Cypher, you actually see, is unconscious on the ground, and Rivana has taken command of his ship, as well as Taggart is also aiding her in pointing out key targets that he thinks might be viable. There are countless voices calling out. You see that there is actually smoke billowing in his bridge, in the bridge at the moment. Rivana just looks and, get the hell out of here. Go. There is nothing left of Corsair. That is an order.
We've got to get you and as many people away from here.
Go. I will go down with the ship if I need to. Every good captain should.
In Eowyn's history of running with pirates, is there a chain of command should someone higher up fall? Like if the queen goes down, is there like someone in line, or
if the queen goes down, it comes to a vote of the Pirate Captain's Council to vote the next in line. At this point, Gale, giving a look and having shared information, the only captains that are in a place of survival at the moment are Cypher, Crom, Kelzita, Taggart, a halfling, and a hobgoblin pirate. The only ones are the only members of the council surviving now at this moment.
You said that was Cypher, Kelzita, Crom, Taggart, halfling, hobgoblin.
Yep.
And then Ravana.
I'll present the information, Captain. This is all that remains. Tony Stark.
Eowyn's gonna look to Lysiris and be like, "What's the chances we can get to their ship and take a few with us?"
Captain, we're in a fucking dogfight. There is no... Doing that would be suicide.
On the screen, are there other smaller ships like us that are still around?
There are a few, but they are damaged and limping.
Okay, so they're not in any condition to be able to flee.
They can flee, but they may get shot down while fleeing. You guys are in pretty good condition at this moment. Damage you've taken, you're down 75 HP, ship-wise.
Can I reaffirm where that little valley is that we can...
Yep. As you are trying to make your decision, an impact hits into the bridge of the Hammer of Dawn, and there's a flash on the comms for a moment before it resettles, and Rivana is gritting her teeth, and there is blood kind of pouring down the side of her face now. Taggart, holding the back of her chair, and has taken the wheel as she tries to prop herself up, as you watch the Hammer of Dawn begin to actually list, and you begin to hear the whine of its arcane engines.
Captain, the keys, please.
Rivana just looks, seeing you, and hits a few keys. All surviving members of Corsair, this is an order. Flee while you can. We will try and get them away from here and away from you. Go.
And
Lycerius
And,
just yells out, superseded order, and pulls down into the valley that Viamir pointed out prior. There are several ships that see you guys making a path, and several of the smaller gunships begin to follow you as well, trying to find your path out. At this moment, the Iron Maiden, the Emerald Lady, and the Hammer of Dawn begin revving their arcane engines to their maximum. You, Fixer, can hear a chorus of screaming elemental energy echoing throughout the field. Being one of the only few people who speak Primordial, can hear the agony that these elemental gemstones that are forged of pure elemental energy from their planes begin screaming in agony and pain. Lycerius has once again kicked the ship into the red zone, and she is looking to gun it as hard as possible and get you all out of there. What are you going to do?
do we
How
up
many
in
more valves are there?
There are 5 and 10.
All right, and would I think that if I opened one valve, got blasted back, Misty stepped to the other side, and opened the other one, would that be in time to, not have too much out of balance?
We could do a roll-off, see how quick you are. You still have Lick.
Yeah, but I'm assuming he looks pretty beat up right now.
Lick's beaten up, but he can take another hit.
Like he can take another hit and not die, or take another hit and still stay up.
It depends on how hard the hit is. Do we hear do we hear the engines roaring?
You hear the engines roaring, but to
nothing
those who speak Primordial, it is literally the sounds of a tortured scream of someone who is just being torn apart slowly, with fire-based pokers and hooks. For Fixer, he's just hearing this ear-piercing scream that just kind of echoes, and it's coming from all the other ships now. The battleships, the Hammer of Dawn, the Iron Maiden, and the Emerald Lady, they all have 4 of these engines that are being as well. They are trying to open as much power on those ships as well, but it is up to Fixer what he wishes to do. Hearing this scream, you're not sure how much pressure for how long that the engine can handle in this state.
Lick open 5, and Fixer open.
All right.
Knowing that the engine is struggling, hearing it struggle, can I inspire the engine room team?
You can, yeah.
Go ahead and take a D8 inspiration.
So you have a D8 plus 2 plus your intelligence plus your proficiency mod.
Math. The bane of playing D&D.
I'm under a lot of pressure. Normally I'm good at math.
The look on his face, math is happening now.
Yeah. You actually,
So
maybe you
it's
can't see.
my intelligence, proficiency, and +2 for, and then
Plus a D8 for inspiration.
okay, that is a total of 16.
Okay. It is not enough to open the valves without some damage being done to the ship. You both open the valve. It increases the damage die by 1 to a total of 3 die 4. What the fuck? There's 12 points of bludgeoning damage. Lick is slammed hard against the hull of the ship, and his head cracks. There is blood pouring from the back of it that you can't see at the moment. He is unconscious. You are thrown back against the bulkhead wall as well. There is blood now pouring from the back of your head. You feel the warm trickle begin to just make its way down the back of your neck into your back. The ship takes 3d10. Thankfully, it's pretty low. Takes an additional 9 points of damage as you are brought into the double digits for health. The ship's warning signs for hull integrity begin to blink as you are down below 50% now. As Lycerius pushes the ship to its maximum, the red line pulls back into mid-yellow. It is still stressing, and 10 vents of this arcane energy are bleeding like blades of flame. You feel this cold and warm rush of air as small tornadoes now begin to build inside of the engine room, Fixer. Tools begin to fly, and at this point, though, the rest of your engineering team is able to make it in. Some of them are heavily wounded. What is your order to the engineering team with 3 unconscious goblins?
How many enter?
The other 4 enter the engineering room.
The night shift.
Would I be able to Misty Step to Lick, give them a potion, and order them all at the same time, or is that too ambitious?
You can give them an order. An order I will count as a bonus action. Your crew just entered the ship.
And you said that there are the tornadoes all over the place.
Small little tornadoes that are just picking up tools, and you see wrenches flying in all directions now. Just one of the dwarves that makes his way in gets pierced in the shoulder by a screwdriver and just fuck pulls it out.
Should have been wearing armor.
Do I see the most obvious damage other than just, there's
Make an
too much pressure?
investigation. Make an investigation check. There's a lot going on. There is a whole hell of a lot.
I probably don't. It's 12.
12. Nothing that stands out, but there are other valves that you could turn to try and increase engine power, to increase just power to the ship in general. Try and relieve some pressure. It's a guess shot at which ones will work and which ones won't.
Fixer will he'll just say reveal or words. Release valves, fix what you can, and then he'll head towards Lick with a healing potion.
Okay. Healing Lick. I'll roll for your crew. Okay. How much does your healing potion heal Lick for? As your crew begins running through, taking a few hits of screwdrivers, bolts, an entire toolbox hits the same dwarf they got hit with a screwdriver, and just he's grumbling angrily about the amount of shit that's flying around that isn't secured. As they start releasing valves, pulling from the yellow into the green just barely. More power picking up into the ship. You feel it lurch once again as the ship is now going at maximum speed.
That's 8 points of 8 points of healing to Lick, and Fixer will then yell into comms. We need medical in the engine.
Okay. You get a response. Medical team's on the way from Nux. At this point, those of you on the bridge, you see... I don't know if you've ever driven at 180 miles an hour on a highway, but...
Yeah, every day, obviously.
Got to like 120 maybe?
Shh. Multiply that by 5, and you just see what looks like a singular smear of paint passing past the entire ship. At this point, Lycirus, with the aid of Gale and Viamir, making a normal roll at this point, is an 18 plus 8 is 26.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. She just barely nailing the 26 DC on that, manages to pilot you guys through the terrain, and as the opening comes, Viamir, are you calling out the opening when it hits for the valley?
Yes.
Okay, as you do, calling it out, Gale lets you know that you have lost 2 ships that followed you in here that crashed into some of the trees, pulling only 4 other small vessels out of this canopy, as she immediately shifts the ship back level and levels out as she begins to slow the ship down slightly and begins going ground level, maybe flying about 50 feet above the earth at this moment. The 4 other ships manage to, except for 2, only 2 other ships make it out, as 2 of the remaining 4 also hit trees as they try and bank out of the forest and just explode into balls of flame. Gale calling out 2 more fallen.
Lycirus, is there something to cloak us? Anything? Anything you know of? Awen, Captain. Something you know of, a place where we can hide.
We just have to find somewhere. Look on the navigation, see if there isn't somewhere we can hide close by.
Having pulled you guys...
I was hoping like maybe a Mercury cave or something would do it. I don't know.
Having pulled you guys out of the forest, out of the combat zone, you are in Zaylan territory. Gale reports no enemy fighters in pursuit. The 2 other ships' captains begin to hail as Lycirus, hearing that no ships are in pursuit, does slow the ship, but gives a simple report to the engine room. Do not change any settings you have at the moment.
Gale, keep on long-range scanners looking for any activity.
Understood.
I don't know. You're hot, and I don't know why. I'm very confused.
They look at you, smile, and wink.
It's going down. It's going down.
Awen's gonna kind of look to whoever announced it and be like, who made it out? 2
captains pop up on the view screen. They are younger captains. One of them is a captain, is one of the captains under Taggart, one of the many that have flown with him many a time before. You see this rather interesting you see this rather interesting tabaxi who wears these high cloaked robes and almost gives that very stereotypical wizard look as he has these high leather boots covering his feet and his lower paws, and he just wears these very stereotypical kind of high tunic wizard robes and a wizard's hat, just kind of showing the bridge of his nose and his bright yellow eyes. Captain Zarimar. I'm sorry, Captain Zarmarir. He's good to see you. Eowyn.
Good to see you as well. And do we have someone else on the line as well?
You do. The other captain, you do not know who this captain is under. They may be a what's referred to as a free captain. A little less trust is given to them as they haven't sweared loyalty or really proven themselves. But you do vaguely recognize the person. They are a half-breed known as a Dhampir called Valzoldut.
Can I look for a good spot where we can rendezvous?
Go ahead and make an investigation check. As Vaz just... Well, hello, Captain. It is good to see that you have survived.
That's not bad.
Your pilot has done an excellent job guiding us through here.
Certainly one of the best. Yeah, we've taken some hard hits, but yeah, we made it out, and
She could do some education for several of the other pilots that exist around the world. You should do well to pay her, or perhaps I will take her from you as a proper pilot.
She's certainly one of the finest, but I think there's other matters that we should be discussing. Maybe a place to rendezvous. One of my shipmates has said, is there somewhere nearby that you may know of that we can meet up?
18.
Zar kind of looks over and, yes, there is a small place. And Viamir, you immediately point out that there is a small village called Isla, just north of your position, maybe a few hours, that is in Zaylan territory, but is well known to be a smuggler and den of scum and villainy, if you would.
Captain, there's a small village up ahead.
And then he'll just be like, Captain,
And I'll pull
Zar,
it up on the map for you.
Captain Zar, Captain Vaz. I don't want to mess up their Zarmarir.
Zarmarir, yes.
Vaz Zarmarir and Vaz
Vazoldut.
Vazoldut. He'll just be like, looks like we've got a little village up ahead. Maybe we can reconvene there and sit down and determine what the next course of action should be.
That is where I was going to recommend. Isla is a very good place to be. It will treat us like home and they will not rat us out. They have respect for the pirates of Corsair.
I don't know how many pirates of Corsair are left, but we certainly shall see.
No need to tell them that. We don't need to be taken advantage of. No, he is correct. You should keep that information to yourself. We will land on the outskirts, and we will let them know that we are coming, so they do not come out to bother us.
It sounds like a good plan.
Very good. We will see you soon, Captain.
Yeah, we will see you soon, and just kind of gives the over and out and closes the comms.
Over the next few hours, Lysiris makes a slow approach. Damage reports are in, mending and repair will be done to the damage to the hull over the course of the 3-hour flight towards the outskirts of Isla. The outer hull, the hull plating will be repaired by then. Crew members are coming to consciousness. There are a few that will have some pretty nasty scars. Reports coming over. But the biggest issue of all is morale is at a low. As the events that just unfolded are, to many of your crew at this point, insane. Who in their right mind would attack Corsair with such
force
and just damnation against every ship there?
The Glenlocks. I'm calling it now.
The Glenlocks is a country.
Yes.
The entire country did it.
Yeah. Weren't they the ones that we
House
found
Arno.
the cipher from?
House Arno from
House Arno from a changeling of House Arno. But not much else was discovered due to the changeling getting away with the book.
I thought we discovered that they were Glenlocks.
House Arno is of Glenlock, yes.
Okay. So that's what I remember.
Yep.
Yeah, see? So I'm right. You're wrong. I'm the coolest.
So
you have 3 hours, all of you. Lysiris does not rescind her order to the engine room fixer in that 3 hours.
Fixer is not pleased with that. Is it? I'm in the green though, right?
Everything is in the green as she has reduced power. Everything seems to be relatively pulled back.
He's gonna radio, or not radio, but communicate up there. I guess it might be radio. Lysiris, we opened all of the valves. Can we shut at least a couple of them?
No. Keep them open until we are 100% in the clear.
Fine. And then he'll just go to looking for damage. At this point, since we're out of combat, he's going to be using a lot of mending.
Yeah. It is easier. It will take, along with part of your engineering team aiding in the repairs. It is something that will be doable over the next bit of time.
Law's going to attempt to do his thing and raise morale with a performance. Basically, just kind of going around and doing playing some some fast-paced, like, upbeat music to try and help everyone out.
Okay. Sincere will go along with you, providing you advantage. Six.
21.
Okay, 21. Okay. Let's make a morale check. General morale seems to lift a bit, but there is still discussion of who would do this, how many people are lost, what would have brought anyone to this kind of this level of insanity. It is bothersome to the crew, but they are listening, though they might not be embracing it. You get the feeling. Anyone else?
I want to take Awen aside.
Eowyn moves over with Viomir.
Captain,
Yes, Viomir.
I know this must pain you, but it was the right decision.
Yeah, I certainly thought maybe we could have saved more, but I know Lycirus had our lives to think of, and she made the call when I was struggling to make it, but it's tough. I mean, Taggart and then the Queen, and
No, she was wrong.
I mean,
Your decision is what matters.
yeah, I mean, it's just I didn't have a decision, and she made it before I could say anything. But it's I can't be mad because we're alive and we're moving forward. But yeah, it's always gonna wonder if there wasn't something more we could have done, And yeah, who knows? I mean, maybe
There is more we can do.
they still got out or something. But
Erase them from your mind.
I don't think it's that easy. I mean, there's
Of
been a
course
lot
not. It's not
lot
easy.
of loss. I mean, they just lost
You're a champion now.
a whole city. I mean, just kind of went
I
up in
gave-
flames. And,
I give you the eye so you can see what I saw. Take the
well,
time. Look. See what it tells you.
Maybe tonight I can try that. Try to take a look and see if we can't
You did well,
find
though.
someone out there. Well, I appreciate that, Vimir, and you certainly were a big help with the navigation, and I think we owe a lot to many people in the crew, and hopefully we can get everyone back up, and maybe we need to go check on those that were injured and see if there's something we can do to help. I mean, as we're flying over to the Isla village, Isla village,
Isla.
Isla village.
Overpronounced I.
I'm not good at this whole teamwork thing.
Well, I mean, you did good. You threw the directions and navigation to everyone, so you definitely did good when you're manning your station. So, maybe you kind of hang out here, and maybe I'll make some rounds and check to see if any helping hands can be lent to some of the crew members, and hopefully we get to the Isla village here pretty soon and reconvene with those other captains.
You need to show strength.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
No, you say that, but you haven't done it yet. You're a champion.
Well, yeah. I mean, let's go. I'm gonna go talk to the crew and help. I know Law and Sincere went to boost some morale and get my face out and about with the other crew members. Hopefully that will help, and certainly
Are there trees about or something?
There are no trees. Where you're going, it is open plains and open terrain. But Gale is keeping to her station
Yeah.
quite attentively.
I just punch a bulkhead. I assume we're still in the ship, yeah?
Still in the ship? Yep.
Yeah. So I just punch a wall, not towards Awen, just punch it.
Are you okay?
I thought, as the last of my tribe, I would have been chosen as a champion, but here you are.
Well, I mean, I don't.
Someone that's never even laid eyes on the mother tree. Deemed more worthy than me.
Well, I mean, Vimir, I mean, there's certainly your connection with the mother tree, and then you had the visions. I mean,
It has led me
Nice.
to you.
Yeah, I certainly think you play a very large role in whatever the future is for the Mother Tree and what we need to accomplish. So, we wouldn't be here, certainly without you. So, I think you're just a big as a champion as the rest of the group, and I think we just need to keep, like I said, let's make some rounds and keep morale high and get everyone to where we need to go, and we probably have to do some repairs to the ship, and hopefully, once we talk with these other captains, there's going to be some decisions that need to be made. I mean, like I said, I don't know what came of Captain Taggart and Queen Ravana, and maybe they got out. Maybe we'll see what they have to say if they did make it. But I do appreciate your kind words, but I like I said, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit.
Is his like fist still encased in the wood from the staff?
It is always encased in wood.
Yeah.
Check for splinters. And this is why we're mature.
Vimir glances down, looking at his fist. Just be the captain you need to be. They're going to look to you for guidance. And this self-deprecating, try to please everyone attitude is not what they need right now.
Yeah, I mean...
Take charge. And Vladimir walks away.
Hayward's like, oh, okay. And just kind of... And he's like, all right. And Aowen's going to head out to visit the other crew, kind of what Law and Sincere were doing to boost morale and just showing his face.
As you do. You didn't make a... What's your passive perception?
17.
You didn't notice Lycirus getting up. As Viamir makes his way away, Lycirus waits for you to enter the hallway and the door to the bridge to close, and she steps out in front of you and looks at you.
Did you want to have that? You wanted to have a talk, you said, when we got out?
Do you remember what I told you when Sazia died? Was it worth it? Was this putting us through a lost fight well before we even tried to assist, putting us into a lost fight? Did you think that was a good idea? Risking everyone you just hired and those you care about.
I think you were kind of missing the bigger picture of what I was trying to do. I was trying to save more people than we had just on our ship. I think I was trying to be a bigger person than just who we are as a single crew. You ran underneath a captain for a while, and I've been under many captains in my day, and Captain Taggart was still alive, and the Queen was aboard the other ship, and I don't know why you wouldn't be willing to risk yourself for the greater good. It's, if anything, I thought I was maybe more honorable than you were in your kind of just venture to get out of here, but
there is no greater good fighting a lost cause or fighting for a bunch of pirates who only care about themselves. You should put your crew before your loyalties. to
I mean,
them. People who look at you as if you don't matter.
I think it's the I mean I would think it's the loyalties that I have to those who you say, look at me as though I don't matter. It's that loyalty that kind of maybe puts me above and it makes me stand out. I mean, the queen. I mean, she essentially she granted us with a ship, and she made myself captain. I mean, I've spent most of my life on board and never once was close to being in a position of being a captain and helping out the queen and assisting in the rescue of Taggart. I certainly think we're doing a greater deed helping others rather than just helping ourselves.
She clenches her teeth. And she goes to slap you. Do you take it?
Awen will. Yeah, it's a way for her to kind of let off anger.
Very much. It is telegraphed. Lycirus is. This is not Lycirus's trained swinging. She just telegraphs it and leaves you a pretty good sized handprint with a 4 with 4 points of damage done. She just rears back and slaps you hard, just this open hand, and just glares at you, teeth gritted. My old captain never put his crew before thoughts of grandeur. I have seen friends die over stupid orders to stay in a fight, to try and make a name for himself.
Well,
I don't want to see the same thing happen to another crew.
Well, I mean, you heard the orders. They ordered us to leave, and my wishes were to stay. So, if anything, I was going against the orders, presented to us from higher authority. But I mean, you've positioned yourself as a member of our crew, and I think you need to respect and understand, some of the demands and some of the wishes of your fellow crewmates. I mean, we are ultimately trying to serve a greater purpose, whether that's the queen or some other mission that we go on. I mean, ultimately, we're looking to earn wages and explore the world, and everyone's out to make a name for themselves. It's just a matter of how you wish to do so. I'm not looking to overtake I was never out to overtake the queen's position as head of all pirates, and I'm not out here looking to find vast treasures and steal them from other ships. I mean, we're really just out here trying to find a purpose in the world, and I mean, it's unfortunate that we're at where we are now, but I think as a part of this crew, you need to not only respect me, but you need to respect the other people. And I'm not talking about just the people on deck, but everyone across the ship. They all make it possible. Down to every person. I mean, you can be mad. He kind of holds his cheek. It's like you can be mad all you want, but I mean, it's how it's gonna be. And if you don't like it, then
Make a Make a persuasion check.
That is a 12.
She looks at you, and as she is much shorter than you, she is relatively small at only about 5 feet 4 inches. Though she is much, much thinner than you. She just kind of looks up at you. Respect is earned, not given. I will fly this ship until the day I die, and you will never find anyone better than me in this stupid continent or any others to fly this ship. But I can tell you right now, Captain, these people are here to fight, are here to follow you. But if you give poor orders, that's how a mutiny is planned and begins. Now, I'm not saying that it will come from me, because I will always put my ship and its safety ahead of some stupid mutiny.
Well, I certainly hope it doesn't come to that. He's kind of like, he's listening to her, and he's kind of like, almost not laughing at her, but he's kind of just like chuckling at the thought of the people overtaking. He's like, I certainly don't hope it comes to that, but I mean, if it comes to where the crew is unhappy with what I've chosen or the path that I've led them down, I mean, we ran this ship with 6 people before, and we can certainly do so again. And you know, we will make the decisions that's best for all of us. I'm never gonna put my wants and needs above the other crew members, because we are a collective group. And maybe that is a sign of weakness to some, but I think it's one of my own personal strengths to be a part of a team. I mean, it's just who I am, and I guess it's who I'll always be.
Then why did you put everyone's safety at risk when we should have left? Think on that. And if you come up with a better answer than bigger picture, I'd love to hear it. And she just walks past you back into the bridge.
Anyone just kind of like another staring off into the distance, like something to think on, along with the previous lesson she tried to teach him. And then he heads out.
The other changeling makes their way off the ship and kind of shifts form into that of a young human male. And, you know, Captain, I've never met a changeling that never takes another form, but yeah, good luck with that one.
He just kind of shakes his head like, yeah, we're kind of find ourselves in a pickle with that one. Like, yeah, it's a tough one to handle. And he's just kind of going off looking for others. Again, just getting his face out there. Even if morale's not low, he just wants to make sure everyone on board sees him.
Make a persuasion check with advantage.
Nat 20, so 21.
Not on the persuasion check you really needed, but...
Yeah, right.
You impregnate 3 of them.
You have begun the next generation of Awins.
Law is proud of you.
We're setting up for when our campaign ends and we come back as our children.
Much like a bard. Awin has done good work today.
We're elves. We're gonna last a long time.
Making your way around the ship, you do increase morale exponentially. It is. You definitely see it is good for the crew to see their captain making their way, helping in whatever way he possibly can, and the people are happy. Morale does rise. A few injured kind of stand to greet you, and do mutter a few grievances, but are happy to be alive and did good work under the conditions that you guys were in. A surprise attack is nothing easy to make their way through. You did good work. Anyone else doing anything?
I want to talk to Gale, obviously.
Okay. You head back into the bridge. Gale's still standing at their station, just kind of looking over everything, and you see she has a side screen open where she is messaging the navigators on the other two ships. As you come over, she closes it down.
Hey.
Weimar.
Good work today.
You as well. I imagine Lysiris wouldn't have been able to do as well without your help. You should be proud of yourself.
You took a lot of the pressure off my soldiers.
I'm glad I could.
Pressure off my shoulders. Yeah.
Anything else I can help you with?
Nope. Good game, bud.
Very well.
Go for a high five.
You go for a high five, they give you a high five.
Hey, no, seriously. You did good out there.
That's what I was hired to do.
Yeah, but now we're in a really shitty situation.
We are, yes, but...
Continue to do good. And we'll get out of this.
Easy enough.
And if you have any, advice for me at some point, let me know.
Of course, I will. If I see a few more of your shifts at the station, I'll do my best to give you some advice.
I'm literally just making the shit up as I go, so...
I understand. We'll get you some formal training.
Yeah, I'm better at hitting things. I'm also really good at looking at things. And pretty good with terrain and stuff. But
they give
seeing it from this perspective is just... It's difficult.
They give you a look up and down and kind of... I can see you're good at hitting things.
Oh, yeah. Alright, well, good job, fist bump. Navigation team is on point.
They chuckle, and it's a cute chuckle. It's weird.
Inside check.
For what?
Is it cute because, they like me, or is it cute because they like me?
Do you like me? Check yes or no.
Okay.
Oh, okay. Not bad. Insight, where you at? Boom! 15! What?
Dude, they might like you.
But do they like him?
That moment when you're happy that Sincere's not here to hear. Are you a boy or a girl?
Yeah. But after that, Weimar would seek out law.
All right,
Definitely.
as you head off, leaving the bridge, Gale slaps you on the ass and turns right back around, looking at their station. Seeing that the conversation was a little awkward. As you say "you," they turn and kind of give you a playful wink and head back to their station, pulling up the conversations they were having with the other navigators.
I'm only upset I didn't flex at the right time.
All right. Heading out to find Law. Fixer, are you doing anything?
Fixer is going to go to the engine and say, Horace, can I get a status report?
Power output down 32%. Repairs required, giving you several sections of the engine that need mending as well as need strengthening due to the amount of power that was put out, as well as advice. Should the engine be pushed to that level of power, leaving all proper ventilations and limiters off would be approved. However, this would increase danger to elemental fluctuations to the engine room.
Thank you, Horace. Do I know if any of my crew are capable of mending? Or my engineering team?
Your engineering team can all do the mending cantrip. But it's going to be an additional adding, strengthening, plating as well to everything. It will take a full 48 hours to complete repairs to the engine.
Okay. Fixer will, start people off, assign them at different squares and everything. And then he wants to check on, well, I'm assuming Lick is up at this point.
Lick and the other two goblins are all up. The three of them just kind of...
Yeah, he's going to do like a concussion test.
Oh, Nox has already done that, and
cleared them.
They are all concussed. Some he is keeping for observation. Lick is not leaving for 24 hours. Lick is staying in bed. He has already given Lick a book, which Lick has eaten.
But that's normal.
And then proceeded to spit out, and as you come in, Lick is spitting out the book, and just there's pages.
I didn't like the ending. It was fibrous.
Nox just
I can't.
reaches into his desk and pulls out some arcane pads and hands the three goblins arcane pads that are loaded with small games for them to play. And just then keep yourself busy.
Sudoku.
No, he wouldn't give goblins math. It's more like playing like Candy Crush.
Rocket Man.
Bright colors. He's basically gave them like Pokemon Go and shit. And are like, there, have fun, bye, see ya.
Oh, it's around here somewhere. I know it.
Fixer's gonna go up to them and just be like, hey guys, if you guys weren't there, we would have crashed. And I just wanted to make sure you guys know that the work that you did was amazing. And I'm very thankful to have you guys on the crew.
Right.
All right, get better. Gives him a thumbs up and awkwardly turns around and walks out the room.
Bring chips.
Fixer will actually go see if he can locate chips in the kitchen and bring them. Actually, first he'll look at wait, was it
Nox
or
Nox?
Nox.
Nox just
One of the two, right?
Nox looks at you.
No. For concussion?
They've had 10 puddings already. I have to
they're gonna get
in
diabetes
our next town.
Goblins can't get diabetes. They died too young.
They've already had 10 puddings each. That includes the cup.
All right, thank you. And he'll still go get the chips, but just kind of have them as a yay, you're better once they get out of the infirmary.
As you do, Ebgarn is like picking things up and is mopping up a cask of ale that was not secured properly.
No!
As you are down to one cask of ale, and Ebgarn is annoyed, but there are bags of chips and the like. There are snack foods stored away. Ebgarn is pissed.
Yeah. I'm going to pull out the alchemy jug and say, beer, taste it, and how does it taste?
It is a standard ale. It is something you could get at any tavern. It gets you drunk, but it's cold, but it's ale you could get at any tavern.
Hey, Evgar, this isn't the good shit or anything, but we can, start emptying this out.
He
And
looks at you,
keep our stock up.
pulls up his mop and just wrings it out into a mug.
He rings it out into a what?
Rings it out into a mug. You see him just kind of cast a spell. Slides it over. Sticks the mop in the pile. Rings
You've
it
done
out.
worse, Fixer.
Casts
You've
a
done
spell.
worse.
Yeah, but I'm supposed to be
And-
fixing an engine right
and just
now.
downs it. Drink up. It's clean.
What's the alcohol content?
24%.
Fixer's gonna do a presto to make it whiskey flavored, and then do about a shot's worth.
You do a shot's worth. It tastes good, despite the whiskey flavor. It is good. It's cold.
Whiskey feels or tastes great.
More of a Scotch guy. I like Scotch over whiskey. There is
Scotch
a difference.
whiskey-
There is a difference in taste.
It's very subtle.
Don't judge his personal preference. I'm with you
It's-
on
I mean,
that.
it's
I
very
mean,
subtle.
Fixer's
I
whiskey.
drink a lot of whiskey.
I'm rum. Love rum. I love rum.
You drink about a shot's worth, set it down. Ebgarn looks at you. Wuss. Downs the rest of your mug, sets it down, and starts setting the mop back in, sets it there, and you watch the pool of ale kind of shrink a little bit more, sets it, rings out into 2 mugs, spell, drink, repeats process.
When I don't have an engine to fix, we are going to have a lot of fun. And then he turns around and walks out.
Okay. His kitchen crew now makes their way in and carrying new plates and dishware from the back, from the cargo bay. Viamir.
Yes, sir.
Make a perception check.
Sure, I got one of those. 16.
16. As you make your way searching for law, you begin to feel a warm sensation coming from your back.
It's this damn armor. I
It's
told Law it wouldn't work.
as you reach back, you touch your double-bladed scimitar, your family heirloom, and it almost burns, searing to the touch.
Is there a room or a place I can obscure myself?
Yeah, you can get into your own bunk.
No, literally whatever's to my left or right.
To your left or right is Sin's room.
That burst in.
Burst into Sin's room. It's a mess. There's shit everywhere. She hasn't gotten in there to clean up yet. After last
Is she in there?
She is not in there.
I'll close the door.
Close the door.
Is there a lock?
There is a lock. Lock
I
the
lock
door.
it. touch it again.
It burns. It is like grabbing a piece of hot iron with your bare hand.
I'll take it, and I'll suffer through the pain,
Make
and
a
I'll
con
put it in
save.
front of me. Okay. 15.
15. Okay. What would be a tremendous amount of damage comes down to 20 points of damage, of fire damage, as you grit through the pain and harden your hand, and as you try to let go and set your family heirloom down, you cannot release your hand. It's as if your flesh has fused to the handle. As you grip it, you see the blades are burning with a white light, and the shaft itself is on fire. It is burning. The entire thing is on fire, and you are holding it in your hand as you begin to watch the flesh of your hand blister and boil and pop as you just grit through the pain. What do you do?
Grandfather! What is this? What is happening? That's all I do.
You hear, "Humble thyself." You see in Elvish on the shaft of your family heirloom the words "humbled" are etched into it. And you begin to watch as a single Elvish rune on both sides of the double-bladed scimitar, two separate ones, with no meaning. It's just a runic letter of each on each side just begins to carve itself into the blade on both sides of the blade, on the edge. As it does, the heat begins to taper, and the fire begins to subside. As it does, you feel the beat of a heart come from within the scimitar. Is it? You pull your hand back, and it hurts. It tightens as you try and grip and release and pull back, and you feel the pain, the blistering. And the double-bladed scimitar quells and calms. It glows for a moment, and in the center of the shaft you see an engorgement come around, separating the two hand grips. And inside you see a small heart beating, a woad heart, connected to both ends, and you see this wooden kind of imprisonment just kind of make its way snaking around the entirety, encasing it in this wooden shell where you can still see it. And then you hear the word awakened in your mind. After a moment, your hand begins to heal automatically on its own. The blistering, the burning begins to fade, and this too hurts, but it fades over time. Your double-bladed scimitar standing perfectly on one tip of the blade. What do you do?
I walk around it for a moment, observing it.
As you walk around it, observing it, it stays perfectly still, standing. The heart, the woad heart in the center, beating.
I just whisper, "Grandfather, what do I do? What is this?"
Duty. You have humbled your heart. That's all you get.
Take another lap around, observing the heart.
Continues to beat.
I'll slow myself, listening to my own heartbeat.
The moment your heartbeat and its are not in sync.
I'll sit down and get into a trance position where I would normally commune with nature. I don't have any dirt or anything, but I'll put my hands on the deck of the ship and try to slow my heartbeat to match it.
Okay. Make a Constitution saving throw.
Oh, that's not good. Plus 5, 9.
9. As you try to center yourself, the metal around you makes it difficult. And even though metal is part of the earth itself, it is not a direct connection. Don't feel your heart grow in sync.
I'll lash out at it. I'll smash the metal.
Okay.
Throw it.
Hitting the metal.
Yes.
Can't throw
Throw
it
it out
because
of
it's
the
part
door.
of the part of the hull of the ship.
Oh, that metal.
Yeah.
Any metal in the room, I throw out into the hallway. Anything that is not wood, I throw out into the hallway.
How would you like to throw out an entire room?
Aggressively?
Because you'll have to rip the metal off the ground to get to any wood. There is.
No, I mean like the bed, the bookshelf, the dresser.
The
Like
bookshelf.
anything.
The bookshelf would be the only thing made of some type of wood.
Yeah, I just take it and I throw it out the room. Into the hallway.
Okay. Emptying Sincere's room in a rage.
Yes.
Sending gemstones and private property out into the hall.
Yeah.
You hear, "Oi!" as you shut the door after emptying almost all of the contents of the room.
I'll walk around it again,
Okay.
focusing. Thinking of the mother tree. Thinking of my grandfather. Thinking of the Night King. And the danger he represents. That's where I focus my energy.
Okay.
As I try to get in sync.
Okay. Go ahead and make a con save.
$16?
Okay. As you focus your energy, your heart, everything slows, gently becomes in sync with this weapon. You hear a single heartbeat at this moment.
I reach out tentatively. Just one finger.
As you do, you feel a whisper enter your mind. Take hold.
And I grasp it.
As you grasp it, having been part of this weapon for so many years, the attunement is instantaneous, as the wrappings of this weapon engulf the hand and arm entirely. You feel the two blades insert themselves into your arm and cut deep. As they do, your whole arm is much like Awen's, engulfed in wood, though your hand is wrapped with these embeddings of that same prison that held the heart. Your hand now is flesh wood, as it comes into a spiral down to the wrist. Pauses, and then you get two blades of steel that shine on your forearm. Moving your arm, it doesn't seem to hurt. It doesn't seem like there's any restriction. You still have full movement. And as you touch the wood, it feels like flesh. But it's all ingrained into your hand now, down to your wrist. As you focus and summon it back out, you find your hand is able to move, dislodge from it, grip it in different locations, unlike Awen's. But you feel this connection. As you now have in your property the heart of the woad.
The woad.
Yep. And I will get you the stats for that. I wasn't expecting that to happen so soon. And I'll get you the stats for that this week. And I'll let you know when it is up in D&D Beyond for you. As you unfocus, even if you're holding it in your opposite hand, it buries itself in, and you watch as within an instant it appears back on your dominant hand. This connection. Two glints of steel in your forearm, and a connection of wood around your hand. As you have discovered with this information a third key in your possession.
I let out a primal roar, which I won't do for the sake of the stream.
You scare a good amount of people on the ship, and Sincere begins banging on her door. Do you make your way out?
Yes, I exit.
She starts throwing her things back into her room, berating you to help her. Do you?
Rock eater.
Fine. Help me get these things into my room.
Of course. It'd be my pleasure. And I help her move her stuff back into her room.
Okay. As you do, the ship touches down. The other two ships touch down on the outskirts of Isla. And as things settle for the first time in what feels like an eternity, after a long 10 minutes of air combat, crashing around you and ships being destroyed in all directions, that's where we're going to end tonight, and where we will pick up to not tomorrow, next week, where our players are now in Zaylan territory, but we'll see where they go in terms of coming to grips with the events that happened here in Corsair. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I look forward to seeing you all next week. I look very much forward to seeing you all Sunday for a very big announcement that I encourage all of you to join us for. There will be some cool shit coming out for you guys in the future. So I look forward to seeing you all then. Have a wonderful rest of the week. And is it Tuesday yet? Because it's not here soon enough. Have a great night, folks. See you soon. Bye-bye.